as a representative of our grade 8 students, and this person exemplifies the values that we foster in the school community. This year, the OECTA Valedictorian Award is presented to Salome Velez Gomez. I now introduce Salome to present her address.
Okay. Good evening, honored guests, staff, esteemed teachers, parents, and students. How do we say goodbye to the people we love? How do we leave behind the place we grew up in? How do we say goodbye to the people that have mentored and watched us grow? This is not a regular speech. This is the goodbye to the place we grew up in. As I look around and notice all of our familiar faces, I've come to realize that we've grown to be more than just a classroom. Over the years, we've become a family. I remember the first day I came into Scholastica. For many of us here, this would have been their 3rd or 4th year in school. But for me, it was my very first year in a Canadian school. As an immigrant, I didn't quite know the language, and if someone told me in a few years I would be delivering the Valedictorian speech, I would have just looked at them cluelessly, not knowing what it meant. Yet, here I am, profoundly grateful to have the chance to speak on such a special occasion. Back then, little did I know that the first step into something new and unfamiliar would lead to some of the best years of my life. But today is not about my story. Today is about our story. This is the special celebration of the memories we've made together. To start, I'd like everyone to acknowledge that even though most of our kindergarten memories might have faded into all the nap times, we made our first friends and promised to stick to them forever. It's a time of discovery, imagination, and the purest joy. Once we finished kindergarten, we felt all grown up. For St. Scholastica, these years marked the beginning. It was the school's very first year towards advancement. I still remember how, during our primary years, we used to have our school masses outside because the gym wasn't built. Sitting under the sky as we celebrated together God's teachings in our faith was something special. It was something ours. We learned more than just how to read and write. We learned how to speak up, how to make new friends, and even how to let go of some. We began to understand that growing up meant not only gaining knowledge, but also gaining experiences. Even though we had already learned the basics in primary, junior was still a whole new world for our 3rd grade minds. Especially after COVID was at its peak, everything we knew was tested, which made any challenge seem greater and harder to achieve. One of these challenges were those infamous multiplication tables that everybody kept saying we had to memorize. And let's be honest, some of us would still hesitate if I were to ask, what's 8 times 7? It's 59, right? Just kidding. But really, grades 5 were tough. We were growing, learning, and sometimes stumbling, but we were doing it together. We were also faced with greater responsibility. Therefore, it brought new opportunities and chances for growth. We were able to explore who we are by getting involved in our school teams and clubs, like the volleyball team, basketball, soccer, track and field, and student council. This allowed new friendships to thrive through bonds built on trust, understanding, and shared experience. Grade 6 was a quiet but powerful trip towards becoming the people who we are today. Then, middle school. We finally made it. We started developing cognitive skills, learning how to think critically, how to understand not just facts and figures, but feelings and perspectives. We began to see things not only through our own eyes, but through the eyes of others, and learned the insights of how God wanted us to see the world. The concepts became more challenging, from Dragon's to Besa, and writing short stories to young authors. Mr. Fabiani, Ms. Thomas, Ms. Malchiona, Mr. Cochran, and our dedicated past teachers have always helped us take the next step into advancement and prepare us to say goodbye. They've guided us in ways we've never imagined, and they not only gave us lessons, but experiences. One of the most memorable experiences here was track and field, where our entire school gave it their all to bring home victory and make our school proud. We also have the multicultural fair during Catholic Education Week. That allowed us to feel more connected to our community and help us learn more about who we are. And of course, we can't forget our graduation trip, truly the cherry on top. It was the perfect way to celebrate everything we've worked from the heights of the CN Tower to the culture of St. Lawrence Market and the excitement of medieval times. This trip brought us joy, laughter, and lasting memories for us all. If I were to pinpoint the most important lesson this year, it would be that success isn't just in good grades, but rather how experiences and actions can become lessons to shape us in the future. Looking back at the time spent in school feels like piecing together a puzzle. When we were younger, we lacked an unclouded vision. Now, in grade 8, the image is clear as we begin to understand ourselves and our paths. It seems like the end, doesn't it? As we say goodbye to so many things and people, a new beginning lies ahead. where we'll encounter new challenges and discover more about ourselves as we grow into more confident, responsible adults. This will help us answer the key question of our lives: who am I and how will I contribute to the world? Even if we don't have it figured out yet, which I don't expect most of us here to, I'd like to leave you with a quote from Steve Jobs. The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. So my message for this graduating class is to reach high, try to follow your dreams, and accomplish things people believe are impossible, which is why we have to say goodbye, to transform into the people we want to be. Thank you.
We would now ask Mrs. Melchiona, Mr. Cochran, and the intermediate teachers to come forward for the presentation of the graduation diplomas. Thank you to Mademoiselle Bizzoni, who will be reading the names of our graduates.